seems some of our friends have been celebrating already.
Well, you can't really blame them. Christmas does only come once a year. By the way they're celebrating, I think they want to intend to make it last all year.
Don't be such sour apples. Whatever happened to peace on earth and goodwill towards men?
Speaking of goodwill, I believe it's your turn to show some.
Really? Someone's stolen my purse! Stop, thief!
Stop the thief! There he goes!
Stop him, someone! Stop him! Oh, thief! Come back here, you little thief! What is it?
It's a little girl.
Ow! With big feet. Do you know what the penalty for stealing is? No. Well, you don't want to know because it's pretty bad.
They cut off your hand. Hey, she stole it, not me. The point is, it's wrong to steal.
But I was hungry.
That doesn't mean it's all right to steal. Now, what's your name?
Hope.
Well, I'm Armus. This is Eleanor, Cedric, and Richard. Now, where are your mother and father?
They're dead.
Well, who do you belong to, then?
No one. I don't have anybody.
Yes, now that fits well. Yes, round here. Now, perhaps in there a trifle, perhaps.
Oh!
1,000 apologies, Sir Thomas.
I think Sir Thomas would rather be stuck by an arrow than by a pin.
Well, I'm certainly more used to it. Ow!
If my lord would just try and move around a trifle less.
No more adjustments. It's perfect, wonderful. Now just leave me alone for the time being.
I'll come and collect it for finishing when you're ready, Sir Thomas.
Yes, excellent.
One would hardly know you were nervous.
I did that well, do I?
Oh, Thomas, you look magnificent.
The Order of the Garter, Elizabeth. In 2 days, on Christmas Eve, Lord Selby, Lord Camden, and I will be invested. It's the highest honor in the land. Only a dozen knights beside the king belong, and I'm to become one of them. It's been a dream of mine since boyhood.
No knight deserves it more.
How can someone so little eat so much?
That's what Mother used to say about Armus.
Careful.
All finished?
Oh, I'd like some more, please.
Certainly.
So what are we going to do about it?
I'm going to give her some more porridge. After that, I think you'll try and find some of Eleanor's old clothes and see if they fit.
Armus, we can't just take her in like she's some dog we found.
We can't turn her like some bug either.
So what do you want to tell Father?
What do you to understand.
He won't understand anything. He's too nervous about his initiation into the Order of the Garter. If we tell him about Hope now, he's liable to explode or something.
Cedric's right. And besides, we have to get ready for the ceremony ourselves.
Where are your motherly feelings?
It's bad enough having 4 brothers. The last thing I want now is a baby sister.
She's taken my knife.
Well, she can't have gone far. Let's find her before she steals something else.
Richard?
I, Thomas Arthur Stephen Grey, by the grace of God, knight of this realm, do...
Why do you have so many names?
Who the devil are you?
It's not polite to swear, it's sign of law breeding.
How did you get in here? Who do you belong to?
Is that cape heavy? I don't have a cape, I'm poor.
Yes, it is heavy. And if you don't mind, I'd like to know your name.
Oh, but Moss calls me Rabbit, because I'm always rabbiting around.
Rabbit?
Hmm.
And, Moss is your father?
But he's dead.
Oh. And your mother?
She's also dead. We met in the village and she was hungry, so I brought her here.
I was stealing his purse.
I'm sure you were. Well, now that that's cleared up, I'm sure Armus will make sure that you're fed, and then he can escort you to the convent of Our Lady of the Green, where you'll have a nice warm bed, and there'll be lots of people to love you and take care of you.
Don't want to go, I want to stay with Armus.
Go on back to the kitchen. I'll be there in a minute.
Are you going to talk about me now?
No, but I do need to talk to Armus about matters that are private. It's a sign of low breeding to listen in.
I can do a cartwheel, look.
Yes, well, very nice. Now, go to the kitchen and wait for Armus.
Bye.
She'll have to go.
But why? She can easily stay here.
Who's going to take care of her?
We can.
Armus, what do we know about raising children? I mean, I know about raising children, but there are places that are far better suited to it than here, like the convent. I'm sorry.
Yes, Father.
Did you find him?
Yes, in Father's chambers.
Did Father explode or anything?
No, but we do have to take her to the convent. Anyway, I told her to wait for me here.
Well, she's not.
I just saw Hope running across the fields towards the woods.
She obviously overheard me and Father. Come on, we mustn't let her get lost, otherwise who knows what might happen.
She escaped again. Enter.
Sir Ivor Chobham and Lady Louisa, Baron.
Lady Louisa. Sir Ivor, you wanted to see me?
Yes, it is a delicate and personal matter.
I see. Please, be seated. Tell me all.
Yes, thank you, Baron. This is deeply embarrassing for us, but a while ago, our ward, a beautiful, happy, and delightful child, wandered away and became lost.
We were devastated.
All our searches have proved fruitless, but recently we have discovered information that leads us to believe that she may be within your shire.
And we'd like to enlist your help in spreading the word that we're offering a reward for her safe return.
And you say she's your ward? What's her name?
Hope?
Her full name.
Lady Hope Cecilia Marguerite Fenton.
An heiress of great fortune. No doubt you pay yourselves quite a large fee for managing her many estates.
I wouldn't say large.
Let me be blunt, Sir Ivor. Without the money from managing her estates, you would probably be penniless. You need it. And I would like a slice of it. Now, how much did you say this reward is?
We didn't. But I'm sure it could be raised, as we say.
Sir Ivor, you are married to a rare woman. My services are yours to command, madam.
Where you been, eh?
To a castle. And look, I've brought us some food and a knife.
Oh, that's nice. Hey, you didn't steal this, did you?
Oh, no.
No.
Oh, yes.
And that's my knife. Here, my lords, I'm sure she meant no harm. We didn't touch a thing.
I'm afraid you're going to have to come with us.
Yes, then what? And then the king will say, take this robe of crimson to the increase of your honor.
And then what?
And in token or sign of the most horrible order...
Did you say horrible?
Yes. Well... Oh, honorable. Honorable order. Yes, much better. Terrible handwriting. Think they could afford someone much better.
Father, I have good news. Splendid. Friar.
Of the most honorable order you have received. For God, for king, for country, and for the welfare of all those who are oppressed and needy.
Father, Hope has a grandfather.
Excellent, everyone should.
Well, it is excellent, but the truly good news is that they've both agreed to come and live with us.
I'd like a word with you, Armus.
Certainly, Father.
I specifically told you that Hope couldn't stay here, and now you brought her back along with her grandfather.
But Moss isn't exactly her grandfather.
I don't care if he's the King of Castile. There's too much going on for them to be here now.
Father, it's Christmas. I thought for sure that upon reflection you'd reconsider.
It is, after all, better to give than to receive.
Then why don't they give me some peace and leave my castle?
Yes, well, he's got a point there.
Excuse me, Sir Thomas.
What is it?
Baron Mullen is here to see you.
Good grief, did someone put a sign up?
Good afternoon, Thomas.
What do you want?
Ah, I can practically feel the Christmas cheer radiating off you. It warms me to my bones.
Spare me your sarcasm. I'm not in the mood for it.
Fine. I just came over to wish you a Merry Christmas and to bring you some presents. Some of your your sheep wandered onto my land. I thought I'd do you a favor and return them.
Thank you.
What are neighbors for? Merry Christmas. What a pretty little girl. And what's your name?
Her name is Diana.
The huntress. Well, you be careful in the forest, Diana. We wouldn't want you to get lost. Meh.
Moss, is it? Would you and Armus please join me in my chambers? And Eleanor, I'm sure Hope would enjoy a bath. And then perhaps you and Lady Elizabeth could find us some new clothes.
It's all right.
Are you or are you not the grandfather of Hope?
I am not, my lord.
Are you any relation at all?
Not by blood.
Well, who the devil are you?
Well, I'm a woodcutter by trade, my lord. That's where I get my name, Moss. I've been at it so long, people say you can't tell me from the trees.
Please, sit down.
Thank you.
So, you found Hope one day, and you and your wife took her in, is that it?
Not exactly. But he did find her wandering lost in the woods just before last Christmas.
For 10 winters, I've lived alone, ever since the cold carried away my good wife, Beth.
Oh. I'm so sorry.
But we were never blessed with any children, like I say you were, my lord. We were happy in our own way, till Beth was gone.
Why didn't you take Hope back home when you found her?
When I found her, she was almost frozen solid, she was. I did what any man of God would do. I took her home to warm her up. I made a great big fire, I did.
But when she was warm, you still didn't take her home.
But I offered to take her back, but she didn't want to go. She swore she never would. Well, she'd run away from her parents. Well, not really her parents, they're dead. I mean, her guardians. Well, I thought she'd run away in anger. Like any child can, but she hadn't. She said her guardians were cruel and beat her. She even showed me the bruises. Well, I'll send no child back to that, so I kept her. Well, she's been happy. You ask her. So have I. She's the daughter I never had, my lord. I'd do anything for her.
There, all done.
Thank you.
Which do you like better, the blue or the rose?
The rose, because it starts with R, like rabbit, and that's my name.
That's a very good reason for choosing it.
Let's go by the fire where it's warm. Do you like living in the forest?
I like it a lot.
What's the best part about it?
Playing with the animals.
Hope, would you like to come back and live in a castle?
No. Not unless Moss could come too.
You really like him, don't you?
Besides, he couldn't get along without me.
Oh, I'm sure he couldn't.
He needs someone to take care of him. He really hasn't had anyone since his wife died, and I don't want him to be sad again.
What are you doing out of bed?
I'm getting some water for Sarah.
Where did you get that?
Eleanor gave her to me.
I see. Well, it's been a long time since I last saw Sarah. Good to see her looking so well.
Why? Did you used to play with Sarah when you was little?
No. No, I spend most of my time practicing with swords and things. Had to be prepared, you know. And my father was not very keen on play. Come on, back to bed with you.
I'm not sleepy.
Yeah, of course not. They'll make things too easy. And then, I'm not too sleepy either.
When I can't get to sleep, Moss usually tells me a story. Can you tell me one?
What kind of stories does he tell?
One's about flying castles and ogres, and how the fairies used to make the trees dance at night. You know.
Indeed. Well, I'm not very good with stories, but here's one I do know. Long, long time ago, there was a couple called Mary and Joseph. And they were traveling toward a little town called Bethlehem. Now, Mary was about to have a baby. But when they got there, they found that there was no room at the inn.
Now, this is what I call a Yule log.
Ouch! Watch out. Yes, I'd like to keep all my toes, thank you.
Don't be such a miser. You've got 10 of them.
Armus! Yes, Father.
I let her stay the night because it was a civilized thing to do, but enough is enough. You must send her to the convent, and then we must prepare to leave. I will not be late for my own investiture.
Father, you can see she's no trouble at all. I'm sure we could find Moss some sort of...
Good morning, Thomas. Had any good lamb lately?
Oh, darling.
No!
What is the meaning of this?
Allow me to explain, Sir Thomas. My name is Sir Ivor Chobham, and this is my wife, Lady Louisa.
Sir Thomas.
Anyway, to the point of things. It has come to our understanding that you have found, rescued, our dear, dear ward, the Lady Hope Fenton.
Lady Hope Fenton?
Ah, you were unawares. No matter. The point is, we have come to take her home and to compensate you for the trouble and expense you've gone to.
I don't want to go with them!
Father, you can't let them take her.
You will find, young man, when you are a parent, that children often have ideas as to what is best for them that run contrary to yours. I'm sure your father will agree.
She's a minor, you know. And they are the Crown's appointed guardians. Ask the sheriff.
She has been with them since she was less than 3 years old, Sir Thomas. I'm afraid you have no choice. The king has already spoken.
I don't want to go!
Father.
Help Lady Hope to collect her things.
Thomas!
Sir Armus, can't you speak to him?
There's nothing we can do. The law's on their side.
She's not right.
I know.
What am I to do without my rabbit? She needs me. I don't know how to look after her. They'll probably take her far away, then I'll never see her again.
Say something!
Can't you do something?
Covington Cross will be back in a moment.
There are many things we must do in our lives that we don't like. It's not a permanent situation, Armus. You won't be the ward forever.
Only for the next 10 or 12 years.
Don't you use that tone with me! Has anybody stopped for just 1 second and thought about how I feel. All my life, I've tried to do the best for my family. And now, on the eve of the greatest moment in my life, everyone's worried about some girl they didn't even know before. My God, I'm almost ashamed to admit this. But that hurts.
We're not ungrateful, Father. It's just a bad time for all this to happen. Sometimes, I suppose, we just forget that you're not all-powerful.
Voice can shatter glass. Perhaps you better just sell it as a curiosity and have done with it.
All soldiering can be trying, Baron, as you well know.
Well, I've always made it a policy to have others raise mine. It's so much less stressful.
Now, behave yourself or you'll get no food for the day.
I hate you, I hate you, I hate you!
I hate you, so that makes two of us. But as I'm so much bigger than you, you'll have to do as I say. Now, just for that, you're going to be locked away until we're ready to leave. Lock her in our room. And no food until I say so.
I want to go back
And what time does the ceremony start at Windsor?
It begins at evensong and will be over at midnight.
Father, I know we've spoken of this before, but...
Then let us not discuss it anymore.
But if we don't say something now, it will be too late to do anything for Hope.
I will not bother the king at a time like this for something that is not a crime.
Can't you talk to someone? Moss is the perfect guardian for Hope, not Sir Ivan and Lady Louisa.
Please, Father.
All right, I will talk to the king's adjuster. But not until after the ceremony.
But then it could be too late. Sir Ivor and Lady Louisa could be gone before riders reach them with any decision.
I will not be pushed into this. Now mount up. I'd like to get there before sunset.
How did you feel when you first found out?
Overwhelmed, mostly. Overjoyed, too. It all seemed too much to hope for. A dream I've longed for, and yet, in the deepest part of my heart, I never really believed I would achieve it. But now I have.
No man lives up to their ideals as well as you do, Thomas. What is it they say in that last part? When they're giving you the robe.
May you wear it as a symbol of your willingness to sacrifice yourself for God, for king, and for country. And for the welfare of all those who are oppressed and needy.
Driver, stop! When we get to Windsor, take me first to the king's adjuster.
Yes, Sir Thomas.
Hooray!
I'm not going to talk to him for long. Go on!
So, before she came to you, she was living with, Moss. Yeah, oh, yes, you mentioned that name earlier. I don't believe I recognize it.
Well, that's it's quite understandable. You see, he's...
He's not related to the Mossingdales of Winchester, is he?
No, I don't believe he is.
But he lives near you.
Near me?
On his estates.
Lord Beckwith, how can I put this? You see, Moss, he's...
Oh, I see. You and he don't get on too well, is that it? Well, I must say I admire a man who comes to help a neighbor he doesn't like. No wonder they're giving you the garter. I couldn't do it, I don't know that. Well, I see no problem here. If Lady Hope prefers to stay with Lord Moss, that can be arranged.
Lord Moss?
Or is it Sir?
Yes. I mean, no. I mean, yes. Lord Moss.
Right. Well, I shall be happy to meet him tomorrow and render my final decision. It's mainly a formality, you know. Where little ones are concerned, I do feel it's my responsibility not to cast them among wolves. They can't have her living in the dirt with peasants, can they?
No, certainly wouldn't want that.
Good. Well, shall we say tomorrow evening at his castle?
I would hate to see you go to all that trouble, Lord Beckwith. I give you my word that Lady Hope will be fine with Lord Moss.
Oh, nonsense. Duty is duty.
But tomorrow is the ceremony.
Oh, yes, so it is, so it is. Well, if I don't do it tomorrow, I shall be unavailable for several weeks. Besides, there's no need for you to be there when I meet Lord Moss.
On the contrary, I think I'd better.
Oh, well, that's your decision. Right, well, shall we say tomorrow, then, at,
Covington Cross. Lord Moss's castle is under renovation at the moment.
You are the perfect knight, Sir Thomas.
Thank you, Lord Beckwith.
Ooh.
Cedric, take my apologies to the king and tell him that a family emergency has come up and that I will be unable to attend the ceremony.
Thomas, what's the matter?
It seems we have less than 24 hours to turn Moss into a nobleman.
Now listen very carefully to how I say it. Good evening, Lord Beckwith. How good it is to meet you.
Evening, Lord Beckwith. Good to meet you.
No, you must enunciate. How good it is to meet you. How good it is.
Here it is.
To meet you. Ow!
Sorry. What's this?
This is a spoon. You use it for your soup.
I don't need that.
Oh, yes, you do. In polite society, one uses a spoon to convey the soup from the bowl to your mouth.
Oh, and this is a laver.
A laver?
Oh, no.
It's a bit thin, if I may say so, my lady.
I'm not surprised. This is what you use to wash your hands when you get them dirty.
Oh.
And your face.
Wash my...
Now, a nobleman is never comfortable without his sword. Conversely, he is most comfortable when he has it with him. It is a part of him, an extension of his being par excellence. It is the most natural thing in the world for him to rest his hand on the hilt while standing and talking, and it makes it easier for him when sitting down. Any questions?
What's a pair of extra lances?
Par excellence. Why don't you just try it? Straight back. Chin up. Nice long steps. Put a bit of a swagger into it. Good, good. Now try the hand on the hilt. And now try the sit down. Perhaps we should just say you prefer the crossbow.
You need to know the genealogy of important people like Lord Beckwith, or else you might accidentally offend him by maligning one of his ancestors.
But I can't even read. That's where I may be of help. Now, this is where it becomes truly interesting. In 973, Dagobert the Proud married Oswalda of Pest, the youngest daughter of Roderick of Ruthiel. They, in turn, had a son named Egon, who married Katrina of Hesse, whose third husband, Ethelstan, was actually her first cousin, thrice removed. Do you understand?
Not a word.
Armus, Friar, keep at it. One slip and our whole enterprise will be for naught.
Yes, Father.
So, continuing. Lord Beckwith is from the Canterbury Beckwiths, who are...
Friar, please! Moss, you've got to remember all of this.
Oh, sorry, Sir Armus, but all I can think about is my little hope. I mean, what have they done with her? I don't know what I'll do if I don't ever see her again.
You'll report nothing to the king unless you want something bad to happen to your dear sweet Moss.
You aren't going to hurt him, are you?
No harm will come to him if you stay silent about us. Understand? Good.
Are you thinking about the ceremony?
Yes.
It hasn't been taken away, Thomas. Only postponed.
No, I'm on my way to spend the holidays with our wife's estates in Wiltshire, see? So it's no great detour.
Lord Beckwith? Forgive me, time quite ran away.
Well, you wait till you get to my age and you'll really see it run.
Allow me to introduce Lady Elizabeth Leyland.
My dear. So, where is Lord Moss? I trust my trip hasn't been in vain.
You haven't seen him? I don't know where he could be.
I'll just go and look for him.
Yes, he's probably in the kitchen watching them make pudding or something.
Yes, he's a very inquisitive person.
Lord Moss of Lancaster. Lord Beckwith, may I introduce my good friend, Lord Moss?
A pleasure, Lord Moss.
Good evening, Lord Beckwith. How good it is to meet you.
And are you?
Yes, splendid. Well, shall we have a little supper? I know Lord Beckwith has many miles to go before he can rest tonight.
Yes, very true, Sir Thomas. You know, Lord Moss, I believe that one of the truest windows into a man's soul is his hobbies. I'm very fond of falconry. in collecting pearls. Fierce competition, see? Coloured with a gentle appreciation for beauty. What would you say your favourite hobby is?
Trees, my lord.
Trees?
Like people, they each have distinct personalities, strengths, and weaknesses. I study one to learn about the other.
What kind of a tree am I?
Good English oak, my lord. Solid as the country that bore you, and with limbs that stretch wide to encompass a diversity of interests.
How would you like some wine, Lord Beckwith?
Not at the moment, thank you, Lord Thomas. And my oakish weaknesses?
Oh, there are many.
What?
Oh, is it not a weakness, my lord, to be too generous? The oak gives its acorns for food, and its wood for timber and fires. If it gives too much of itself away, soon there's nothing left.
How does all that apply to me?
Cannot one be too helpful to others to the point where we may neglect ourselves? Such as... Aye. Such as when you risk your health in this foul weather for the sake of a young girl you don't even know. Yet, it is a weakness I am most grateful for, and that many others may controvert you.
By God, sir, I like you.
Wine, Lord Beckwith.
Yes, thank you very much. Ah, lamb, how delightful. Unless, of course, you're a sheep.
Yes.
This is too much.
Bad news?
No, I'm overjoyed. Yes, of course it's bad news. It's from one of my spies at court. Lord Beckwith, the King's adjuster, has heard of your precious Lady Hope and has gone to Covington Cross to meet Sir Thomas and Lord Moss, who also claims a right to her custody.
Moss is a woodcutter.
Of course. We must make Beckwith aware of that. Come, we must ride at once. And bring the child. You can tell Beckwith personally there's no place she'd rather be than in your loving arms. Once he finds out, Hope will be yours. And perhaps I can cost Sir Thomas a garter.
The peasant is happy to lay down his scythe, while a nobleman is never comfortable without his sword. On the contrary, he is most comfortable when he has it with him. It is part of him, an extension of his being pair of extra lances.
I beg your pardon?
I believe he meant par excellence.
Oh, yes, quite. Par ex...
How very apt, Lord Moss. I must remember that.
Oh.
Ah, pudding.
Ah, good. My favorite part of the meal.
Ooh, delicious. My lord.
John Mullins.
Oh.
Remember what I said.
I apologize for arriving uninvited, but we come with important news.
It must be for you to come out in this weather.
Yes. But first, allow me to introduce Sir Ivor, Lady Louisa, and the Lady Hope.
I want to be with Moss.
My lord, this man is no more a nobleman than my boot.
John Mullins! Ignorance is no excuse for insults.
Child herself will tell you. He's nothing more than a woodcutter dressed up like some trained ape.
Is this true, my dear?
He's the best woodcutter in the whole country, in the whole world.
I do not like being made a fool, Sir Thomas.
No one does.
The king.
My good Beckwith.
Your Majesty.
Thomas?
Your Majesty. Cedric?
I regret to report.
Ah! My Lord Moss! How good it is to see you again! It's been far too long. And, how are your estates in,
Lancaster.
Yes, Lancaster.
Fine, Your Majesty.
Excellent. Which brings me to the reason for my visit. Since the Lady Hope is so near and dear to me, I have decided to award you the Castle of Stanhope. Fitting name, what? Where there are plenty of rooms for a young girl to run around in.
Oh, thank you, Your Majesty.
Your Majesty, I must protest. Your memory deceives you. This man is a woodcutter.
Are you questioning my memory, Baron?
No, Your Majesty.
I thought not.
My humblest apologies, Lord Moss.
Oh, no offense taken.
By either of us.
And you, Thomas, there can be no apologies for missing the ceremony.
I'm out of words, Your Majesty.
That is why we all decided to delay it until we got here.
Your Majesty.
How could I have the ceremony without my favorite knight? Besides, we Knights of the Garter must stick together. Be prepared to sacrifice ourselves for God, for king, for country, and for the welfare of all those who are oppressed and needy, be they low-born or high. Cedric told me everything. Merry Christmas, Thomas!
Merry Christmas, Thomas.
Merry Christmas. Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas!
Look!
A Merry Christmas, everybody.
Merry Christmas!
Merry Christmas!
Merry Christmas, everybody.
Merry Christmas.
Covington Cross will be back in a moment.